It's me again. Would you like your rate smoothed or anchored? Another controversial topic, but it's now more technical. Rate is the most used prompt curl function, probably. Also, I always refer to rate and friends when I say rate. Rate, increase, and delta. But rate is what we mostly call them, right? It's also the most misunderstood and the most discussed. So tons of people always wanted to change this. We got a lot of proposals: X rate, Y rate, H rate, A rate, M rate, Bush. And these are just the proposals that got a name, right? So what's wrong with the existing rate? We even had that question about this already today. TLDR, nothing, right? It's perfect. Now, it's not perfect. It's always a trade-off, and that's the problem. And this is a lightning talk, so I won't discuss the trade-off because it takes too long. I just focus on the downsides. So the existing rate has the following properties, and this is the mother of all problems. To quote the prime minister of this beautiful country we're in, strictly looks inside the range. So this is actually a good property, I think, but it has problems. So you have this range, rate 5 minutes, only looks within the 5 minutes. So if you line them all up, it's hard to get full coverage and graphing, and you always need at least 2 samples in the range, right? And you have to extrapolate to the range boundaries for a proper result. And that means the results are non-integer, which is surprising for many. And for me, it's just surprising that it's surprising for many because not everyone is like a nerd like me. So you also need heuristics when to stop the extrapolation. This can go horribly wrong. And there's a more esoteric thing, which we didn't consider at all when the original rate was built, about composability. And by now, I think this is a very useful thing. And in Tiny is like a query, so you cannot just add up two rates next to each other and expect to be the same result as if you do it over two, whatever. Like detail, but I think this actually is important to think about. Okay, so there was 4 reasons the Prometheus maintainers were quite conservative about this topic, and for other reasons, things got moving this year. So I dumped all the context I had into a doc, into one of my infamous giant undigestible brain dumps, but Julian, who is the true hero of this, digested all of this. He should give this talk, but he is not here at PromCon, so I have to do it. So Julian distilled this into an actionable design doc and implemented it. Yay. So now what did we do? We realized we cannot solve all the problems with just one better rate function. So we gave up on giving one better, but we also couldn't implement 1,000 rate functions, right? So we essentially went into 2 different directions, anchored and smooth. So this is a new thing now, and it's still experimental and it might still get improved. It doesn't implement any of the other proposals directly, so every single one who proposed this will be unhappy, but yeah. So this is how anchored works, and this is essentially when people want integers, right? So this is now taking the last sample in the range and the last sample before the range and directly does the difference. It's very much simplified. There are a few subtleties. So integers, if you have integers going in, integers go out. This needs just a single point in the range because you also take the one before. And I think this is what many people will love, but I think they don't know what they wish for because this has many problems. But anyway, you get this now, right? So smooth is the one that still does some polation, but not extrapolation, but interpolation. So it looks at the value between the points. So essentially, it interpolates at the boundary, the point before and after, and takes this. So this sounds too good to be true. I think this will be very helpful, but there's one big and fat problem, and this is why we totally did not consider this originally. You need, if you want this for now, you need the point after now, which is also called the future, right? So you need a point from the future. So you essentially, to make this work, you have to look a bit into the past. And there are many reasons why I think this is acceptable now. But again, it's a lightning talk. So this works with 0 points in the range, right? Because you just interpolate everything, magic. Cool, right? So there in the design doc is all the depth and also the links to all the other proposals and to my brain doc, which has a lot of subtleties. So you could look at this to learn more. Also, because I said it needs a lot of reasons, I submitted a talk for KubeCon EU in Amsterdam early next year. If you're on the committee, you know this talk has to go in, right? So you learn all of this. Maybe also holiday, I don't know, because maybe Prometheus gets accepted holiday, whatever. If you in the meantime try it out, you need Prometheus 3.7 or later. You have to set enable feature PromQL extended range selectors, and it doesn't work with native histograms yet. We are still working on this. That's it. 5 minutes.